Hey y'all, good morning. Welcome back. How's everybody doing today? Hope this week has been good to you. I think today I want to share something that I read online. It was on Threads, and I don't post on Threads, but on Instagram it'll like show them and you click on it and it'll take you to it. So I saw one that caught my eye. Excuse me. And I couldn't help but go through the comments and see what people had to say. So this girl, I don't know how old she was, and I couldn't tell from her picture how old she could have been. But she said that she had been single for a while. She said, I thought taking all this time and doing the work healing, and she used quotation marks around healing, would put me in a position to meet better quality men. But I've been dating now for 6 months, and these men are this, that, and the third. I can't even remember what she said, but basically lazy and tired is what she was essentially saying. So the first person that commented, well, the first comment I saw, and I tell you, people were ripping her to shreds, and I'm like, but she's not wrong. It said something along the lines of, well, if you healed because you were hoping to improve your dating life, you did it for the wrong reasons and you went about it the wrong way. Therefore, you did not get good results. Healing is supposed to be for and about you. Once you do it that way, then all of the, good men will find their way to you. She's like, but you got to, first of all, you got to decenter men. Like, take them up out of the group chat and just focus on yourself. Honey, you would have thought that this was a guy saying that. You would have thought that this girl said something just absolutely horrible. But what she said was correct. Now, where I can see people being defensive is when she said decenter, but then put yourself in a position by doing the work for yourself and then they'll come find you. I can understand why that might create somewhat of a contradiction, but she wasn't wrong, because what she is saying is you have to focus on yourself and you have to do what you have to do to become a better version that shows up in this world, and then naturally better quality people will find their way to you. Let me tell you all something, and I feel like this goes without saying truthfully. You are going to attract a little bit of everything. There's never going to be a single time in your life where somebody there's never going to be a time in your life where somebody with so much audacity, but not rightfully so, will come up to you and try to shoot their shot. It has happened to me plenty of times, and I'm thinking, sir, surely not. Surely you do not think, but you having it going on like that I could do anything other than offer you a, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Gotta go. But you gotta admire people for their confidence. And you really kind of want to walk through this life with that level of audacity for everything. It gets you pretty far, but that's a whole nother video. So, again, I understood what the girl was saying. She was saying, like, first of all, you need to be the main character. Let's talk about that. Let's start there. As a woman, I don't care. You have to be the main character. You have to be. Stop trying to be humble. Stop trying to be the cool girl. Stop trying to be non-problematic, and always be the main character. And that is literally part of healing when you are coming off of the tail end, or, whatever your timeline is for a relationship or dating. That is essential, because that is how you decenter men. When you think like, I can't prioritize you because I have too many other things going on in my life that need my time and attention, and I'll get back to you afterwards. I promise you, you will feel so much better about yourself. That is not to say that you just shit on these men. You do the ones that deserve that. But the ones that are being good to you, they're showing up for you, they're taking care of you in ways that they're, able to, or ways that they really want to. Yeah, you always make time for them. You always let them know, like, hey, once I get done with this, then it's me and you. We can go do our thing. But don't ever sit up here doing the work, figuring out how to rearrange certain parts of your life, how to change parts of who you are that you know are good. Don't try to fix that because you think that is going to land you in the arms of the right kind of man. Because what I know is that if you have had bad luck in dating and relationships, then there is something that you have got to do. And that is what healing is. You take your time. You take your time figuring out, okay, like, I know there are some things about me that are flawed, but I know that there are some things about me that are also really, really good. And I don't need to change the good things. I just need to change who I give those good things to. I need to reserve more of that for myself. I need to make sure that my energy is not being siphoned by the wrong people, not being siphoned, period. I dated a guy for about 6 months who never asked for anything, never wanted anything. He gave more than he got from me. I can say that. And it had nothing to do with me not offering or me not being the generous person that I am. I just think he was uncomfortable receiving things because all he ever knew was to always do for other people. But he oftentimes would do for the wrong people. Now, where he did take from me was he loved my energy. He loved my conversation, the mental and intellectual stimulation that he got. He loved that. And so he wanted it 24/7. And oftentimes I would look up and be like, I really don't want to be on the phone with this person because I want some alone time. But here I was sacrificing my own time and my own energy to make somebody else happy because I knew he wasn't getting it from anywhere else. And I figured, well, it's the least I could do since he, shows up here, with stuff for me, when he does. It just doesn't work like that. If I had of given him 10, 15 minutes a day of my time, as opposed to 2 or 3 hours or more, that would have been enough. And so here I was, even though I felt like I wasn't giving in the ways that I always did, I wasn't being an overgiver with things or whatever, I was still being an overgiver with my time and my energy. And so, I realized in that moment that I had not decentered men, because if I did, then I would have said, after I looked at the phone, I'm like, 30 minutes. Well, I'm getting ready to get off here and go take a bath and have some wine and read a book in the bed. And I'll text you when I get out or when I'm unwinding to say good night. But you have a good night. Enjoy your evening, and I'll talk to you later on. Done. I know now that that's perfectly appropriate, but at the time I felt like it wasn't enough. And so, it does make me wonder, like, when this lady or when women in general go out on these dates with men, what are you doing during that date? Are you being yourself truly? Are you putting on a performance? Are you just kind of sitting there? Because oftentimes when you sit there and you let them talk, they think they're having the best time ever. But it's exhausting. And so that's another thing. Like, find a way to either cut the date short so that you don't feel so drained afterwards, or find a way to turn the conversation around about something that you actually like and you actually want to talk about. Main character energy. That's how you do that. So, women in the comments underneath the person who said, you healed for the wrong reasons, they're not even considering the fact that this girl literally used quotation marks around the word healing. And I'm not trying to nitpick or pick apart anything that she said. But it's like when you put it like that, were you really healing, or were you sitting around trying to figure out how to manifest the right kind of man? Because I think sometimes women do that. They're like, I'm healing, I'm taking time, I'm focusing on me. But in the meantime, they're really just trying to manifest the type of man that they want. And they're not really doing any inner work. One of my girlfriends, I know she wants to see me in a relationship so badly. I know she does. And, well, I shouldn't say she wants to see me in a relationship so badly, but I know that she would like to see that for me. And I would like to see that for myself. But I had to explain to her very briefly that it's not my season to date. And right now, like, I'm just enjoying focusing on myself and being single. And so what I have started doing as a way to decenter men and create main character energy within myself, like true main character energy, is I'm starting to try new things to see if I can develop or find a new hobby. And I've also been, going to workout classes more frequently. I have really tried to tap into my self-care. I've always taken really good care of myself, but I'm super duper intentional now about the amount of time that I utilize tending to myself. Like I'm adamant about that now. And I'm also adamant about not talking to or dealing with people who drain me. That's part of self-care as well. That's how you create main character energy. You don't allow people to come into your life and siphon from you. It doesn't matter who they are. But in order to do that, you have to focus on yourself. You just have to. You can't, when you've been one extreme or the other, there's not really a gray area that you can fall into. You have to go over to the other extreme for a little bit, and then you work your way to the middle. So I know how much of a distraction being in a relationship can be. I know how much of a distraction dating can be. And I'm not against it. If I were to meet somebody, that'd be great. But right now, it's not a priority because I have never had this much time to myself to just, do me and focus on me. And it feels really good. And that's what I want all women to try to do. I want you all, I don't care if you are single and if you've been single for a long time, if you look up and you're like, but what about me? What do I like? What do I want? What do I want to do? Tap into that. It's not hard. It's not hard. You just have to learn how to be okay with disappointing people. And when you meet a man or a woman, whatever your preference is, once I gotta go to Pilates soon. Once you start to get in the habit of whatever new hobbies or whatever is new to your routine, like once you get in that habit of doing it and you find true pleasure, it's not something that you're doing because you have a goal or like, okay, some people will immediately start jumping into like fitness and things like that when they are wanting to improve parts of their life. Fitness is always like number one. But if you're not doing it because you actually enjoy it, you're doing it because you think that's what you're supposed to do. You're not going to stick with it, and you're certainly not going to prioritize it when somebody does come along. So if it's part of your routine and it's something that brings you a lot of pleasure and you really feel like you get something out of it and you've been doing it long enough, when you finally do meet someone that you like spending time with and wants to spend time with you, you're going to say, very easily, a no-brainer. Well, yeah, after my workout class, let me go home and shower and change and we can meet up. I'll meet you out, or we can go do this, we can go do that. I'm going to an African dancing class with my girlfriends at 3 o'clock, but we should be done and I'll be back home by 5 and I can meet you around 6:30. Oh, I'm hosting a girls' night in my house this weekend. I'm not going to be free Saturday, but maybe we can do brunch Sunday. You see? So you're not telling this person no. You're not putting them off or making them feel like they're not a priority. You're just letting them know that you are number one. Okay. Main character energy only. All right. I'm for real. There's nothing wrong with that. I think we're living in a world where it's either you're one or the other. You're either extremely selfish, and like I talked about in a previous video, you're trying to live like Shira 7, where it's all about things being transactional, what a man can do for you, what a man can give you. You don't like them, you don't love them, you don't get attached, nothing. They're just there for the money and the things and the resources. And then you got these over here that pour everything that they have into a man. That used to be me when I was younger. It was. So I can understand how that happens. But it's a very easy fix, ladies. It's a very easy fix. I think you just have to stop being afraid of losing somebody. Because I did used to think that being a certain way, saying no, like if I didn't adjust my life and my schedule to accommodate him, then he was gonna not be interested in me, or he was gonna go, find somebody else to do it with. You know what? I don't give a shit. If that's the case, if that's what it takes, you weren't never here for me anyway. Stop being afraid to lose these losers. Okay? Because I'm telling you what I know with every fiber of my being. Any man that you deal with who really likes you and respects you is going to want you to have your own life. He is actually going to enjoy watching you do your things, whether it's with friends, by yourself, whatever. He's going to love that. I promise you. Men who have lives of their own and believe that a woman coming into their life makes things multiply, they're going to want to experience you in every aspect. They're going to want to watch you with your friends. They're going to want to see results of things that you have these secret talents of, or like let's say you take voice lessons. He's going to want to see how much you've achieved, how far you've come, with doing that. If you like DIY projects, he's going to enjoy coming by or seeing videos or pictures of you putting stuff together. Like, real men, good men like their woman to have a life. So if you run into somebody that makes you feel like you never have time for them and you're literally just doing day-to-day things, you're cooking, you're working, you're taking care of yourself, you're spending time with loved ones, you're spending time with friends, you're spending time alone. If they have a problem with that, your best bet is to enjoy them while you can and move on to the next one. Because the further you go in that relationship and the more you start doing for yourself, the more he is more likely, if he's not that kind of man who really encourages it and respects it and likes to see you thriving, the more guilty he's going to make you feel about it. And then the less you're going to do for yourself. And then the more you're going to do for him. And that's how you start shrinking. That's how he grows and he becomes strong, powerful. Notice how much better looking he gets when you start neglecting yourself and your hobbies and your interests. Notice how much of a glow up all of a sudden he has, and then notice how you're starting to look a little bit disheveled. I've been there. When I was pouring all of my time and energy into a man, I looked like shit. He looked great. I look back on pictures that I have yet to delete because it's thousands upon thousands in my phone. But pictures I haven't yet gotten a chance to delete, I look at those and I'm like, wow, he looked amazing. And then I'll swipe and see a picture of me around that same exact time. And I'm like, I looked like shit because I was literally giving him everything that I had. Don't do that. What did we say? Main character energy only. Okay. Well, that's all I got. I don't think I got any more. I got to go to Pilates. I got to be there in like 20 minutes. So I hope this helps. Leave comments. Let's go back and forth about this in a respectful way. You know, I'm still learning a lot. I'm never going to stop learning when it comes to this kind of stuff. And I happily accept other perspectives and opinions about it. So do what you do in that comment section. Be nice, of course. And I'll see you guys in the next video.